Apex Live Trading Room starts now.
Hey guys, welcome to the live day trading room afternoon session. My name is Lawton Ho. I'm going to be joined by Gareth Soloway, Dr. B, Drew Dosick, and Benjamin Poole. What's going on?
What's going on, folks? Hey, I'm jumping on here. I do want to let you know, Ben relayed a message. He will be taking half off the table at 138.67 on ANET at the break even. So 138.67. He's going to be taking 1/10, which is half of the position off. You see price coming down right now. So be ready and be prepared for that. Getting close there, guys, on ANET. 5 cents away.
Let's see if we can get this.
Come on down. There we go. Got filled there, guys. Got filled. 1/10 out on ANET. 1/10 out. So we are now back to 1/10. I'll go ahead and update that board for him.
Yeah, this is a good. This was great maneuvering by Ben. And for those of you guys who are just joining us, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen all of our positions that we're in and our current averages and how much profit we've made today. So pretty decent day so far. You know, Gareth taking the biggest winner on Shop, but Drew not too far behind.
Yeah, we got a closed position, and you had a nice win there on Palantir. So we got a total of 7,300 for the day so far. Currently still in ANET. GEV has been one that we've held over for several days. And that one is forming a beautiful top with the daily topping tail still intact on that chart. So, okay, let's get into some price action. We see here on the spiders, we've moved up. And what is this, folks? We're bull flagging. Same thing with the Qs. We're just bull flagging up here. And let's flip over to the hourly to get a little bit better view of both of these indices. I'll back out on this on the QQQ. So we got the spiders here on the left and the QQQ here on the right. Notice price action is stalling right here on the pivots that occurred there on Tuesday, August 5th at 9 in the morning. So this was basically the opening bell, gap up higher than the big sell-off, and then we've had a bear flag consolidation yesterday, and now we're ripping right out of it. These last 3 trading days have been conflicting, to say the least. We moved up here, put in bull flag consolidation, then moved up, bull flag consolidation, moved up, gapped up, then sold off, bear flag consolidation. Now we're flipping it over. So the markets are really kind of chopping back and forth over the last 3 days, not having a good common direction on them. Same thing is true on the Qs. You can see basically almost the exact same pattern. Now, the IWM actually is faring a little better than that as far as its choppiness. The IWM is pushed up higher. We did have a nice dip here at 9:30 in the morning yesterday, and then since I've come back up and is at least flatlined, but still this big red candle on the hourly chart is what's dominating price today for the last 4 hours. So we'll need to watch to see if this red candle is beaten on the IWM. What are you looking at today, Lawton? You got Palantir, nice trade. What else are you looking at there, sir?
Sorry about that. For me, I mean, let's see here. What do I got? I mean, we can go to my tried and true, the love of my life. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, those clean socks.
Oh, those clean socks, absolutely. Do love those clean socks. So how about this? I'll give you guys an entry, okay? Let's go 803, okay? $8.03. I will enter a long in SOXS. Let's go a 10th position at $8.03. $8.03 for a long on SOX. Okay, if we hang out much lower, continue pushing lower though, I could see myself lowering this, but as of now, I have an entry to go long SOXS at $8.03. Just for now.
Awesome. Let's do it. Hey, Christoph, thanks for sending that over. I'll definitely take a look at that tonight. Take a look at that video. Thank you, guys. And Ben, let me find that out. All right, so for ANET, we're still looking for about a $2 pullback. That's what we're targeting as of now. Things can change, and I'll keep you posted when I do get any sort of new information. But yeah, looking for $2 on the pullback. And Darnell, you were right, sir. Yeah, we still actually are in Mercury retrograde right now, July 17th through August 10th. So that ends here in just 4 days.
And I know that everyone's so interested on these planets and cycles. Drew, how can they learn more about that if they want to learn more about cycles from you?
Well, what's going now, we've got our Trade Alerts Explorer service. I put out a video every single Monday, and how I've kind of arranged that, we basically, each one of those videos is about 20 minutes long, and I go through one of the topics that's taught in our cycles courses in the past. I'm working on a cycles course right now, don't have it done yet. This course is going to take me longer than my other Mastering the Overnight Trade, the sleeper hold, and then I'm also working on a beginner trader course that really starts from the foundation and helps people set up their accounts appropriately. That way they can divide everything up and not you can't 100% avoid a margin call, but you can set yourself up for success to avoid getting into that sticky problem. And I go through all of that in the Beginner Trader series. It's going to be monumental for anybody coming here, finding us for the first time, wanting to learn how to get into trading, especially with technical analysis. So I'm working on that course now, but the cycles I'm actually putting together slides for every night. And it's fascinating, guys. It truly is fascinating. It's something that you can find benefit not only in the stocks market, but on your day-to-day life. You can start planning when to buy a house, when to sell your house. It fully encompasses everything in the market plus everything that you were ever going to do economically. And then also, heck, we can even determine when wars are likely to happen too. So I mean, the power of the cycles is really far-reaching than just on the charts.
That's incredible. Do you think your cycles would be able to help me become a better sports bettor? Because I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's funny that you mentioned that. Okay, so we got my charts up here. Hey, what's up, Gareth? How you doing, sir?
Hey, good. How are you?
What's up?
Doing great. Let me show these folks. And I talked about this. Golly, I can't even. DKNG. There we go. My brain's not working. All right, so I brought this up yesterday on Trading the Close and talking about sports betting, Lawton. One of the easiest trades I have found, and now that I've alerted so many people to it, it might likely not work, but one of which is here on DraftKings. And you see I got the weekly chart up, but basically towards the end of every year, we do see a little dip. And what's the biggest sports betting event in this country, at least? Well, it's the Super Bowl, right? And every time when we go into the end of the year and have a dip on DraftKings, I usually start picking some up, and then price usually rises right into the Super Bowl. You can go back and test this out for year after year. You can see it just rising right up in the Super Bowl. Same thing here in 23, rising right up in the Super Bowl. 22, dipping down. And then we dipped here into January, rose right back up into Super Bowl. So this was a smaller bounce. But talk about seasons. That would be one of the ways I would go about it. One, just first of all, maybe not bet on the Dodgers or the Rays or anything like that. First, start right here. Every one of these years, it's played out so far.
How about look at the lead up into March Madness, too.
Yeah, that's
Super
what I was
Bowl
thinking
into
too.
March Madness, and then it comes down after that.
Yeah. So you can in essence call this, the seasons are displayed right here on the chart for DraftKings. It's a pretty interesting element about it. I've noticed though, like say here, this peak was Super Bowl This peak also was Super Bowl. Then it flatlined through March Madness. Bull flag though, beautiful bull flag, and then started ripping higher. So it's just a little interesting pattern that I found here on DraftKings.
Cool.
So
yeah,
Gareth. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Charles. There isn't a track record for that service. Travis says Palantir did not just drop another buck ho. That's my last name. He's calling me ho.
Yeah, it did drop. Palantir's rolling over beautifully here.
Nice.
I tried to channel my inner Gareth and I couldn't do it. I attempted to. I was like, what would
You mean the
Gareth do?
patience?
The patience, yes. Like I was talking, I was talking to my brother. My brother just moved in with me. I tried to get him a car yesterday at a dealership, and I was there for forever. And those guys are like hyenas. I don't know, trying to force you to buy something. But anyways, I was talking to my brother. Like I was explaining, like I was showing him our track record and like how well Gareth was doing. He's like, well, you guys are taking the same amount of trades. You just got to go heavier. You just got to have more patience. And I was like, that's not true. You don't know what you're talking about. But maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Next exit on Palantir. We're out of Palantir already. Dweep. I exited, unfortunately, like $1 ago. So.
Well, finally getting a good bounce here on SMCI. Nice bounce.
Yeah, that thing is waking up. I saw that too. It was asleep, Gareth. Jeez, was that thing asleep?
It was.
Every little bounce was just sold into. But hey, yeah, now it's waking up. And you notice the Q's now starting to break up above that bull flag consolidation too. Spiders have not started to do so yet.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week, much, quieter, even with, we have second tier earnings like AMD we had, but, I think there's the lack of economic news is really one of the factors that's keeping trading a little bit quieter and more floaty this week. Because last week was just, there was so much, the Fed decision, PCE, jobs report, and all those type of things. So it does seem like it's just more of a pause week. But the one thing I keep looking at is look at that pattern here. To me, this is a bearish, in spirit of bear flag potentially forming, something like that maybe.
Yep.
I'm seeing the same thing, Gareth. Sorry, guys, I had a little issue with my mic, so I had to have the IT team take a look at it. But I agree. I think this is bearish price action. I totally agree with you. Good time to start leaning into shorts.
Yep.
You guys see Joby is falling from the highs. I think that I entered a swing short on Joby today. I think that probably falls a lot more here.
Are you
Nice.
saying that it fell because you entered a position and you shorted so many shares?
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of factors here for it. 16 billion market cap with no earnings, and it's way overdone.
Well, it rose because it acquired someone, right?
Yeah,
So
acquired Blade for like 30 cents on the dollar.
So people just got bored of the news. I guess it was like, okay, whatever.
I like that play there, Doc. I think even if I flip it over, who's got that? Oh, Mr. G. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can see, and I've got a lot of stuff in here, but I can get rid of this trend line, get rid of this trend line. Actually, we'll keep that. But mainly, that's the main trend line I saw where price just ran smack into on Joby, pierced it, and then is now coming back in nicely. So I like that play there, Doc. SMCI, you saw the news about that, huh, Doc? Jeez.
Well, yeah, I was trading it this morning, but what was the? I mean, they had bad earnings, right?
Yeah, they did. They had bad earnings, as you see here, miss, double miss, and then also there's some floated allegations out there, nothing sticking yet, but potentially one of the clients SMCI has sold to in the past, I think, and where was it? They sold them products. The company's called ALX, and they sold over millions of dollars, over $20 million worth of chips to ALX. Well, ALX apparently has turned and sold those to China. And
No.
yeah, so apparently companies like SMCI, NVIDIA need to be vetting their customers to ensure that these trade restrictions are followed. And it looks like they may be getting caught up in some other scandal. Basically a cloudy situation for SMCI in the near to midterm till we hear any sort of resolution with this.
Yeah. My best man is supply chain consultant at Deloitte, right? And one of the big consulting firms. And so I think there was these chip restrictions or something that happened. He works kind of on the government side, military side, and deals with nuclear reactors and deals with semiconductors. And so they came out with this news that they were going to restrict chips from China. And like a week after, he says, "Yeah, I knew that was coming." So
wow.
He's under an NDA and all that stuff. So he obviously couldn't tell me that. Otherwise, you could shorten a video on that type of news, right? But and get nailed for insider trading. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely an issue. Definitely an issue.
Wow.
Check this out on. I know you were showing Joby. Remember, I came up with this chart here on this parallel, right? So you had.
Oh yeah.
Remember this? So I had this pivot low here. All these pivot lows, pivot low. Then you had the previous high. It ran right into this parallel and started to fall. So pretty cool.
That's beautiful right there. I love that parallel.
Yeah, just, if you look at the pullback, look at 10% pullback.
Jeez.
So a lot of opportunity there. If you look at the intraday, what that looks like. This by the way was a huge. So here's the top of the parallel. This is a huge bull trap. Look at this. So it consolidated. Traders at the open were like, okay, it's gonna go out, it's gonna go long, or it's gonna go break out, and everybody got trapped up here. And look at how they just ripped it down, just relentlessly all day. People just selling, hitting their stops. I ended up shorting this intraday yesterday. One of my best trades. Just seeing this bull trap here was crucial. And then this. I missed this short this morning, but man, I'll tell you, I had this on my chart, and I like to short at the break of trend lines here. This is a stock that's all-time highs. Again, no, not profitable, way overvalued, and hemorrhaging cash. And you have this bull trap here that led to this bear flag, and then a huge break here at the open. There's a lot of money to be made right here in these candles. See this right here?
Jeez, yeah.
So you can do pretty well. 4.5%, 5%.
Wow.
It's just hard to find out where to take profits, right?
Yeah. Well, I have a course. I have a system I'm going to teach. So.
All right, cool.
Coming up soon. What else are you guys looking at?
I was looking at Walmart. I mean, Walmart fell, pushed back up, or pushed up, pulled back a little bit, is not pushing up again. I mean, that 104 level gap fill looks like a really great level, but it's just taken forever to like went up and it's kind of just stalling there. I mean,
Man, this thing just doesn't want to quit.
I know. I don't know why though. What the news is. Like I open up the information about Walmart and all I see is like an analyst saying the bears of the day, and Walmart's one of the bears of the day, and it's up like 4%. Same thing with Target. Target's also up like 4%, 3%. So I'm just trying to understand why that is.
The Target's beaten down here. It's beaten down. It's coming off this trend line here. It's, from a technical perspective, this company is in a pretty good position, low PE ratio. It overall looks pretty good. They had a fall here in revenue a little bit, I think, they really haven't grown in revenue. And their profit margin, I think, got hit a little bit or stayed the same. Generally, you want to see these just rising, right? But it's just oversold, bouncing, being oversold. Yeah, Walmart. What a move. $822 billion market cap. We're going to have $20 trillion companies by the time this bull market's over, I think.
So the bull market isn't over yet.
Oh, it's still technically a bull market. Yeah.
So, okay.
What are you guys looking in terms of shorts? Anything in particular?
Well, intraday?
No, more on the swing side.
Well, one contender's GEV. Definitely like that. This is short. Palantir is up as high as it is. That could be another.
Microsoft.
Yep.
Microsoft, yeah.
Microsoft's put in that beautiful
Bear
big
flag.
red handle at the top of the charts after earnings, and it's come right back in. So yeah, that's a good potential. Apple's pushing up today, has a beautiful push today, 5.67%. Tim Cook was meeting with President Trump, so I imagine something's going on there as far as and also they've been talking about investing into the United States and also having manufacturing done in the United States. So that's likely the reasoning behind Apple pushing up. I'm not ready to short this now. As you see, Apple's chart is pretty low on in general relativity compared to the Microsoft. Here we got Microsoft all the way up here off earnings at all-time highs, and then we flip to Apple. Then you see Apple way off of its all-time highs. But you see this price is coming up into major resistance test for Apple, not far away at 220. It's created by this declining trend line right here. So coupled with the fact that the RSI is rising very rapidly with this big push up, we're likely going to have a test at that 220 area potentially as early as tomorrow for Apple. We'll see.
It's definitely been lagging. It might break out here soon.
Yep. I don't know, Gareth. What do you got to say? You got any input there? We're just talking about some levels and different charts that are extended.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to me is that we've seen in recent days the semiconductors start to struggle a little bit, which obviously the semis have been the driver of the market. So that's a warning sign. But in the meantime, it looks like money is concentrating on even fewer names. So I think looking at the market, I've seen it how we kind of were always focused on tech and mega cap and AI and but now you're seeing it kind of even get narrower, right? I mean, like Rigetti's not hot anymore like it once was. A lot of those other names aren't the same sort of momentum names, and it seems like it's Palantir, it's been Robinhood, like these last few are really the key, or the last one holdouts, if you will, in this bull market, right? And so if at some point I think those start to fade as well, and that might be the top. And we talked about earlier how on Palantir that run up this morning was so ridiculous, and it looked more and more like retail were buying these way out of the money call options, weekly call options, and then institutions have to kind of protect themselves, so they have to buy the stock, and you got this big move up. But that tells me again that speculation is kind of getting a little out of hand on some of these names, and this is what happened with GameStop and AMC and some of these other ones. And so, again, it's just the narrowing, even more narrowing of the rally seems to be something that's kind of a signal that we're near a top as well.
Yeah, a lot of signs all coming together. Then we got the tariffs on the horizon too. Just throw in some headwinds.
Yeah, true. Yeah, another chart that I love here is this Caterpillar chart. Here, let me pop it up. Look at this trend line on Caterpillar that it just tagged. So in Caterpillar, again, this chart, you could mistake this for Palantir's chart almost. It's so vertical. But this would be one of my favorites for a pullback. Any sort of weakness in the U.S. economy should really take Caterpillar down quite substantially. It is falling today pretty nicely, down about $7, but great trend line of resistance there.
Yeah, the previous four, aside from today, the previous 4 trading days had a nice uptick in volume there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had earnings yesterday, which basically it was flat on earnings, but now you're starting to see, I think, the profit takers come in. It wasn't able to break out on earnings, and that probably is a sell signal for some institutional investors and traders. But aside from that, I mean, you look at Robinhood's chart, parabolic, but looking more and more bearish after hitting this trend line, kind of a pseudo bear flag. Bitcoin is flagging as well after this recent breakdown here.
There's a lot of, what's that?
No, I was just saying Palantir. Oh, I'm getting a little reverberation there. I missed myself. But you can see Palantir's even up into this parallel channel here. Beautiful little parallel right up there.
Yeah, nice. I'm sure you guys have been seeing a lot of the articles about the CAPE ratio and how we're at the highest since the .com boom, right? So just doing a little.
What is that? The CAPE ratio?
Reading, yeah. So I just put it up here on the screen. So the CAPE ratio compares the price of stocks to their average inflation-adjusted earnings over the previous decade. And so this was kind of pre-dot-com crash. This was pre-Great Recession. Okay, up around, would be about 27. This is the lows of the Great Recession. This is the highs in 2021 before the bear market. So up around 38, and we're basically right there right now. So, yeah, I think it's this plus the Shiller PE ratio. It's all overdone. It's just a matter of time.
So that's bearish for the economy? That's what you're saying?
Well, it's bearish at least for the S&P, right? So if the S&P CAPE ratio is much higher than the average, let's say the average is here, let's say around 30, or maybe even high 20s, you're up around 40. So it's really just a surrogate marker for the other stocks, the individual equities in the S&P. So and then you look at the PE ratio of the S&P, you look at the PE ratio of a lot of the other companies, and it's pretty clear everything's overdone. But
that's interesting stuff there.
Yep. Yeah, I tried mentioning the last time we had mass tariffs was during the late 1920s.
Interesting. And we're in the 20s now, huh? Interesting 100-year cycle there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ronick asking about a Coinbase scalp. I don't see one right now at the moment, Ronick. I see Coinbase this is the 14th day down on Coinbase. Oop.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I grabbed the charts. Feel free to take them back there.
Oh, all good. I'll flip it over to you just real quick. But with this being the 14th day down, I would likely be looking for any sort of buying opportunity. And as you see here, we pierced this inclining trend line right here on Coinbase, and we're simply retracing. And really, for maybe even a good scalp short, I would like to see maybe a decent fall beneath that trend line, then a retrace, and then I would scalp there on the retracement of that trend line. And maybe that could be what you're implying here. But I would like to see more of an extension. That way it gives us more room down here before price can catch support once it starts falling. So I'll just pass on that one though. Here you go. Flip over your charts there, Gareth.
Awesome. So what I brought up here, guys, is the Buffett indicator, value versus historical trend, and we are 2.1 standard deviations above the historical trend using the Buffett indicator. And you can see even above 1965, close to the 1970s. Here was your .com bubble high right here. And you can see there was that last peak, and we're actually above this last peak from just before COVID right there as well. And so again, this doesn't tell you that we're going to reverse like today, but it just tells you that the market is expensive. There's no doubt about it. Some other indicators as well: price to earnings ratio. We are also 2 standard deviations above the historical trend. If with this one, the internet bubble was 3 standard deviations though. So
Wow.
again, we are extremely extended, but the internet bubble was amazing on its own. And then price to sales ratio, we are 2.3 standard deviations. So all of these are fundamental valuation factors, and it just tells you it's pricey. Again, it doesn't tell us any sort of reversal. And then if we look at here's interest rates. S&P value relative to interest rates, which is always good to know, because again, remember, as interest rates go up, technically stocks are supposed to go down, right? Because the idea is you can get a better return in the bond market, but that hasn't happened here, and you can see how expensive the market is relative to interest rates. And then mean reversion, here's a mean reversion chart. Here's look at your mean reversion on the S&P. It's all the way down, probably that's around 3,600. That would be a mean reversion just to the exponential trend line would be all the way back down there. Pretty crazy.
You said 3,500, Gareth?
Yeah, 3,600 it looks like on the chart, somewhere in that vicinity.
It would be just to give you an idea of the percentage drop, it'd be about a 45% drop from current highs.
Wild.
That's totally possible, right?
Yeah, at some point, right? And that's the tricky thing, is that I think most people, maybe not most people, but I think most logical people know that at some point we'll have that, right? We'll get that sort of rollover. But the question is when? And that's always the hardest thing, the timing on something.
So the Buffett indicator is the market cap to GDP, right? That's what that is?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ratio of total U.S. stock market value divided by GDP. So 2.1 standard deviations above the historical trend. That's pretty lofty. That is quite something.
That's impressive.
You know, I'll tell you guys a funny story. I worked with a nurse, male nurse, ER nurse, and he was on Wall Street. Actually, he was at Lehman Brothers for many years, and he would tell me all the time, he's like, the trend is your friend, man. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. And So when I think of that statement, I think of Jason, and I was talking to him the other day. Hey, checking in after about a year, and he was telling me, "Hey, Doc, how you doing? Oh, look, I'm looking at these stocks. I'm doing so well. I'm starting to look at yachts. I'm starting to look at buying a yacht. Because he's in Palantir and all these stocks. And sure, he's much more educated, I think, than the average investor, but he's definitely buying these stocks at a higher value than, let's say, Warren Buffett would. And I said, Jason, look, that's awesome. Glad you're doing so well, but man, make sure you protect your downside because we're overvalued right now. So, but it's just interesting to hear the euphoria right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in somebody who's been in the markets for many years. Anyway, so we talk about that a lot.
Oh, well, he's definitely done well. Talking about a yacht. Good for him. I think we brought up a yacht yesterday.
Well, he's very knowledgeable. He reads a lot of the news. He's in tune with the markets. He's checking every morning. But yeah, it's interesting.
And Dweep asking, how big of a drop are we expecting? Could economic conditions of some countries lead to a war?
I mean, that's always a possibility, right? I mean, it's hopefully something that doesn't occur, but when things get bad enough, and one of the easy outs is war, I suppose, unfortunately. And at least in the stock market range, you just don't know when is that bigger collapse going to occur. But again, with us approaching that 100-year cycle of the Great Depression, you'd assume by 2030 or so, or 2029, you'd have that bigger decline, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall, right? I mean, let's just say the U.S. keeps adding $5 trillion in debt for the next 4 years. Let's say the economy starts to suffer more and more, and keep in mind, I think the economy in general stays okay, but more and more people, I think, get left out of it, right? We've already seen that happen, right? The haves and the have-nots, it's separating more and more. You have the middle, lower income brackets, and then they're really struggling, right? They've been hit hard with inflation and all these other things, while the upper class can afford the inflation issues. They've been in the stock market, right? They have a significant investment, so they're able to weather the storm. But that differential is getting bigger and bigger. So I think you see more of that divergence between classes, which obviously breeds resentment, and then same thing with countries as well.
All right, guys. Sox is coming down. I hear myself, but Sox is coming down. Yeah, my entry is at 803 for a 1/10 long. Let's see if we can get this fill here. 803, $8.03, a 1/10 long. Yes, Camille, my entry is still there. If it hangs out or bounces off this level, I have to lower it, but we'll see. 803 is 2 cents away. I don't want to spook it. I'm superstitious like that. But yeah, 803 is going to be my level for a long on Sox.
There you go. I like that answer though, Gareth. Because there's a number of things that can develop from it too, right? Like if you think, and a lot of people aren't really talking about this, but, or at least I haven't heard it on the news recently, but there was another ultimatum with Russia, with apparently another ceasefire. And I think Trump reduced the days down to 10 days. So, I mean, who knows? There's already that conflict going on in Ukraine and Russia. Who knows what it could spill out and become. There seems to be weekly alerts go up about NATO jets getting scrambled because of some drone. So, I mean, that's just literally been on the brink for a long time. And then at least the Israel-Iran situation cooled off as fast as it started up. But yeah, these things certainly could lead to very tough decisions that these world leaders have to make.
Yeah, very true.
Don't forget that every great empire falls at some point, and one of the beginnings to the fall of an empire is when the dichotomy of the haves and the have-nots gets larger and larger. So
interesting. Then it becomes a pitchforks and torch situation, right? And a revolt.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah, Snapchat's had a decent bounce back today. What an incredible fall though on Snap, down 17%. It's unreal. Snap has had a failed breakout too. And are we close for you, Lawton? We're about 3 cents away or 4 cents away.
James, it'll be announced in a couple months. And Mutasem, yes, Archer has the same issue with Joby, right? These are essentially, in Lawton, just butt in when you are entering.
Yep.
These are essentially like venture capital type plays, right? They create these amazing products. They try to survive. They keep raising capital to stay alive. And then eventually you get a buyout from, a larger aviation company. And so that's how they exit. So Archer and Joby are basically VC type stocks. So yeah, I think they both have a pretty big fall in the much larger than some of the big tech, or let's say JP Morgan, for example, would fall much greater than that because they don't have any earnings, right? And JP Morgan does have earnings. So if you look at the chart of Archer, let's see here. You can see here that maybe this is a parallel here that will be respected, but this is really interesting price action. This is a stock, it IPO'd, came up, and then came down and broke down through this area. We've talked about this pattern. So many stocks have the same pattern right after the IPO and then just get crushed. But this will be support. And you can see we came up to it here, got rejected, came back, chopped around it, came back, hit it here, bounced. And so I think once we break below this level here, I think Archer gets crushed. Joby is a little different. We're still kind of high on that chart. So, but same thing. Once it breaks below this, I think you'll fall at least to $12.
Yeah, 40%.
I was going to say OKLO is another one that's had an incredibly parabolic run. OKLO. Be interesting to see where that thing tops out.
Just keeps going.
Yep.
Wow. Talk about a wedge pattern, Doc.
Yeah, we're just seeing that. I mean, look at how steep this is. Tough to say where to draw these lines. I mean, this is already pierced it.
And then price could and usually does come back to that trend line that pierced. So that's still a good marker for it. Wow. Yeah, that's awfully steep. Sharok saying, he's saying, I'm Iranian. My dad just came back from Iran yesterday, and he told me that almost everyone is vacating the capital. Wow. Because of another attack potentially next week. What's so interesting about that, we've got a cycle date coming up. Now, cycles don't always trigger, events like that. But they usually, things tend to happen, big events tend to happen around those. The cycle date, we're within that week window now of when effects can start happening. That cycle date is August 12th.
Hey, I'll be watching for that August 12th. I'll put that on my calendar.
I think there's going to be a bigger one September 4th. So August 12th.
You mentioned OKLO. Check out this trend line here. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
See that?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow, right to it today and yesterday. Whew. I actually love that trend line. Amazing.
Yeah, Laurel, these cycle events do have earthquakes that typically occur around them. And I did not know that about August 12th. Wow. That's interesting. All right, so far this afternoon session has really showed very minimal volatility. Starting at 12 noon, price has really gone sideways on the spiders. That's about true on most every indice too. Now for earnings this week, we do have some more earnings. And after the bell today, we do have AppLovin, IonQ, Duolingo, Symbotic, Fortinet, DraftKings. Gave you guys a cool insight on DraftKings earlier. Tomorrow morning, though, Celsius, there we go, D-Wave and Eli Lilly. And then Thursday after the market, then we do kind of wrap up the week there with Rocket Lab, SoundHound, Pinterest, Block, XYZ, and the trade desk. Oh, wow, the trade desk, TTD.
We have earnings traders today and tomorrow, or just today, or just tomorrow?
Both days, I think. Yep. Today, there's actually some really good ones today.
We have today.
I think
and
DoorDash, APP is today. Duolingo, DraftKings.
Today too. We had earnings trader yesterday too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I just show up and take trades.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at OKLO's financials. This company has no revenue.
You don't need revenue. Who cares, right? Just press buy. Just buy it.
12 billion market cap and no revenue.
Just like
buy.
Joby.
Mm-hmm.
It did pull back a little bit off of that double top. That was my shortable level. Guys, Soxs is just sitting here like at 2 cents above our entry, which makes me think if it comes down, it's going to come down even more. So I'm going to be adjusting my level to 802. I lowered it a penny. I know, massive, 802. But if it bounces too much, if Soxs goes up, say to 814, above 814, I'm going to take my order off the table. Okay. But I've readjusted my entry on Soxs to 802.
Hey guys, I'm jumping on here to give you guys an update. Let me see if I can have a camera going. An update on the exciting ANET trade.
I mean, you're in the money for a little bit. That was fun. A little bit.
Yeah, $30, $100. I don't know. Wasn't much. 140.05 is where I'm planning to add to ANET. $140.05. Right here. Had this nice break of this upswing trend line. Hasn't quite retested, so it'd be nice to get a retest. Scene of the crime. Put in a new high. Still not super positive RSI. And then maybe we can get a rollover today. I don't know. This thing is just not moving one way or another. So it's kind of chopping right here at our slightly out of the money. We're just about 8 cents away from our last ad level. But yeah, again, that's what's really going on with it.
Yep, the spiders kind of point the picture there that just not too much is going on as far as volatility. It's likely affecting that trade for you, Ben.
Yeah, probably. I was noticing I wasn't even sharing my camera. Hey, what's up, everybody? Woo, getting a big pullback on the 10-second chart on ANET.
Oh, you're awesome, Ben. You know, one thing. Let me review while we're waiting on some more volatility there. Let me just review one chart real quick on Snap. I want to just highlight a couple things to everybody. Notice when Snap before earnings consolidated here, broke out, confirmed, retested the breakout. Now check this breakout from this declining trend line pivot high from July 11th of 2024. So it took a lot of energy and effort for price to get through that area, and it finally did. I was almost anticipating, this is how much of a coin flip earnings can be. With this sort of pattern and breakout, that's a strong move on Snap, but obviously earnings came out, did not appease the investors, and we just got slammed down. So basically, this is a failed breakout here on the charts. Notice the big drop on the failed breakout, but it did catch support. It didn't quite tag this trend line. If I go all the way back out on the charts, you see we've got a pivot low back here from December of 2018, and that's the area that price is now getting support. And you can see there, it didn't hit it. That's close enough though for a kiss, because this trend line is basically 724 and the low of the day is 727. It's still amazing snap back on this chart there for Snap.
See what you did there.
Yeah, man, you got on the mic. I needed to at least throw some smiles out there, throw something out there where people could at least roll their eyes. My wife is so good at rolling her eyes, and I like to think I've helped her with that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So a couple different questions right here. John's asking, could anyone analyze ITB for a swing short? Yeah, let's take a look. So you're looking to short the home construction ETF. Here we go. Right now, we're in an uptrend on home constructions. If it gets back up to 112, I can see that as a possible opportunity to short. You broke down below this upsloping parallel channel. So on a technical basis, it could come back up and retest and get up to 145, 150 bucks on the ITB chart. So this is a tougher short. Now, if you do take this pivot high, secondary pivot, draw a trend line, this could be an opportunity to enter a short trade, knowing that you may have to dollar cost average into this thing, right? So if you started at 110 bucks, dollar cost average up 10%, bring your average to about 115, and then another 12% higher, close to double top, you bring your average up significantly, probably around 120 bucks or so. So that could be an option for you. Just know that if this down sloping trend line does break, then it's going to go quite a bit higher.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. The ITB, Ben, the home construction ETF. That's interesting.
Yeah. I haven't really been playing around with that either.
Max asking about Lucid. So I'll show my chart here. Lucid, I've had this wedge for quite a while. This is a company that they have revenue, but they're not profitable. I don't think they ever have been. You can see how low we are on the chart from when they IPO'd right here. Initially had an amazing run back here in 2020 from 10 bucks all the way to almost 70, and then just completely collapsed, just bleeding. And in terms of a swing trade, to be honest, I mean, this for me is all bearish price action. This is all bearish price action. And when you break this level right here, you'll probably head down to here. And if you look, it might look like a small amount on the chart, but if you were to buy here thinking it's going to bounce off this support, you're going to be out of the money about 40% by the time it hits major support. So a company that's not making any money, I would be more risk averse, more likely to buy it once it's really oversold here, just above $1. Same thing for like a Rivian, right? This is a huge bear flag right here. And then you have, it's essentially the same chart. You know, this will be your next major support here. This is obviously decent support, previous the all-time low. But if it breaks this level here, and you can see lower highs here, lower highs. So you have to be really careful that you're not buying here before a huge drop. Now, actually, this would put the stock below zero, so probably not going to go down to zero on this. But if they go bankrupt, you could.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm going to share my charts real quick. Okay, so here's a different scenario, right? So you're asking go long. Well, if you notice where the double bottom is on the charts, it's $1.93 on LCID. So it really depends on your overall outlook on it. Am I going to put my entire portfolio in it? Absolutely not, right? But if you wanted to get like a 1% starter position, just knowing it could go lower, I mean, there's no harm in that, right? So when you ask these questions, there's no real set answer like, hey, no, you should absolutely not invest in this. But if you see this Lucid as a long-term play for your portfolio, as something that you're willing to hold for years and years, like no matter what the revenue, then it could be a great buying opportunity. It's down 9.3% on the day. And then you have double bottom at 193. Now, that's where things kind of get tricky. So do you buy at double bottom and dollar cost average and then wait on that ad? Or and that, again, that's going to have to be something that you as an investor have to decide on what's right for your portfolio. So could go lower, but again, if your overall long-term horizon on electric vehicles and Lucid is good, then I mean, this could be a home run, right? You could go up 100% from here, and in like no time, next earnings, it could do that. So I know Dr. B is saying to really wait for it, but it really depends on your again outlook on the company.
Yeah, we all have different perspectives in the market. This is just what I'm seeing. This is my risk appetite. Where I would be willing to enter. So it's I mean, heck, you can enter it right now. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can say, all right, if you don't like entering companies that don't have earnings, then you can put a stop loss and you can just re-enter lower. So there's so many ways to do this. Yeah,
exactly. Right. So this is why it's tough. You guys ask, oh, is this a great swing trade level? For us, are we entering the trade? No, but I didn't invest in Roblox, and my brother-in-law did, and he was 50% of the money. He didn't care. He added to the position, and now look at Roblox. It's over $100, but that doesn't mean that it's not necessarily a good swing trade for him. It just wasn't what we were seeing as swing trades. And so you always got to take that as consideration into whether or not you're going to invest in something. It's like, what do you want? What is your time horizon? Are you willing to hold this to zero if it goes to zero? A $219 stock. Like if you want to put $1,000 into it and you're okay risking $1,000, You could lose $1,000, but let's say it goes up to $27. Now you're at, what is that, 10x? So now you have 10 grand. So it's not for us, but doesn't mean this can't be for you. Anyway, that's just kind of my thought on the situation, right? Every investor is going to be different. All right, so Charles is saying, did the ad move from 140.55 to 140.05? Yes, my ad on ANET did move, and the reason it moved is because we ended up taking half off the table. So I was going to add every $1.25 higher, but now what I'm doing is, because our average is 138.67, I'm going to look for a Pierce of 105, and that'll be about a 1% move higher. So about $1.40 higher than our current average price. And plus, I'm also going to play the 140 even number Pierce and look for a potential pullback from there. But the way ANET is currently acting, I will look to add to it at 140, and then if it gets down or break even, I'll look 1/10 and just maneuver like that. Just because there's no volatility in it right now. Still, overall, the sentiment is it's bullish. It's taking out some pivot highs. It's trying to, right now, it's consolidating right underneath all these resistance areas. So it is likely to go higher. So we are likely to get filled. So any pullback, I'm willing to take a little bit off the table for. All right. George is saying, all right. Yeah, Max, you're welcome, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. David's saying, guys, what do you think about DoorDash chart? Earnings are today. I guess my question for you, David, is what do you think about the DoorDash chart? What are you looking for? Are you looking for support levels on earnings? Are you looking to trade the earnings trade? Are you wanting to go, are you bullish, bearish? Like what's kind of your sentiment, so I can get an idea of how I can direct you inside of that chart? Ron Nolan. I'll take a look at that in a little bit. Upsloping trendline and falling wedge on the daily. 886 fib into 5 previous pivots on NVO. Yeah, Novo Nordisk. Man, this thing has been so beaten up. It's a $210 billion company. And it's down. You guys look at this. It's down almost 70%. 70%. That's a pretty substantial fall for this particular stock. I was expecting a bounce at $47.74. You get this low pivot, this double bottom, and it's actually a major pivot area. Looks like it did get a little bit of a bounce off that area, but then quickly rejected. So it looks to be going lower. So $45, just the whole round number of 45 should provide it some support. Had that gap fill like I was mentioning earlier. So you're into a lot of support right here as well. You got this low pivot at 45.58, and then that goes all the way back to 2021.
Yeah, I was taking a look at NVO recently as well.
Yeah, what are your sentiments on that?
You know, I was looking at that. I have that on my board. You know, I have kind of like a whiteboard, right, where I keep all my, I have, you know, swing trading stocks, stocks that are going to, you know, I'm looking for breakouts on, breakdowns. Let me show you what I have on Novo Nordisk. So there's this trend line here from March 2022, as well as a wedge developing. It's kind of early. Look at all this volume here. You know, man, if we could pick up Novo Nordisk around $30, that would be awesome. I doubt it gets there. probably 35 to 40. I think we'll get a bounce, but the stock is in trouble here. It's just, oh, there's another trend line here too. Yeah, probably somewhere in here.
Sorry, guys. I just hop in. I just got filled. I just got filled at 8:02. I'm long SOXS $8.02. So I'm like eating noodles on the side. But I got filled on $8.02. I'm long SOXS. 1/10 position. I'm long SOXS.
All right, here we go. Ready?
8:02.
Yep. Game time. Do it.
What is that? Am I like being transported into another dimension? What is that?
That is a notification that we are entering a new trade and a
I
new
like
era.
that.
Okay, my target on this, it's like I'm gonna look for. Let's see. Let's look for
All the money.
$8. Let's look for 8 cents either direction, 9 cents either direction. Let's go 9 cents for now. 8.11. My ad is going to be 9 cents lower. 7.93. I'm not on camera because I'm eating right now, but anyways, these are my levels. Let's try and make some money. That was like really it was really trippy. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I was in Disney World going through like a water tunnel or something.
I was about to say the same thing. Disney World, like in a Space Mountain wait
Or
line.
space, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Space Mountain, that was a great ride.
Right.
It's supposed to transport you into another dimension. No, I don't know. I got nothing. That's all I got. I was trying. I failed.
Well, if you have nothing, maybe it's better to just stay quiet.
Yeah, it could be, but you know, that's not what I do.
That's not
It's
nice,
not.
Dalton.
That's not what you do either. Come on. All right. Money flow is strong on the 1 minute SOX with linear regression growing. All right. That's what Ron says. And Ron has created an indicator for money flow. So that should be good. All right. Let's see. George is saying, hi, Ben. BYD is a pretty strong Chinese auto company and catching up with Tesla. Do we have a, yeah, BYD, BOYD Gaming Corporation. That's the company. They create taxis. They're the gaming company. It just broken up upper trend line on a channel on a daily time frame, and it's 83.66 now. All right. With a retrace. Okay, let's take a look. It's a $6 billion company, unlike Tesla, which is quite substantially larger, at least for the market cap. I have heard that they've got some pretty good batteries, actually. Their lifespan, or not the lifespan, but their charging capabilities are quite incredible on BYD.
It might be the
Isn't
ticker
that
may
like
be
Beyond Meat?
BYDDF.
Isn't that Beyond Meat?
No, BYD I think is the ticker. BYD is a gaming company out of Vegas,
Okay.
and I think BYDDF is the ticker for BYD Company Limited. Looks like this one's based out of China. And thank you for sending that over, Shanda.
How about Beyond Meat? Do you think that would be good at making electric vehicle taxis?
They'll definitely give you gas.
Hey, if Joby buys
You're
them,
forcing
who
it. You're
knows?
forcing it. You're forcing it now. We're just forcing it, Ben.
Is it not true?
I don't know. I feel like my chair is shorter. Something happened. Hold on.
Macoby Wolf is really just hammered down here at the previous all-time lows. And remember they're filing for bankruptcy, right? So I mean, they could restructure and then have a better, wipe out some debt, and the stock could rally. But they're here at about $1.40, and nice falling wedge, amazing. Tried to break out and then just came right back. So, yeah, I'd just be careful with something like this. That's a known a company that's known to be going into bankruptcy.
Okay, so BYD company. I don't know that it's traded here in the United States. Unless it is the BYY or BYDDF. Yeah, it's not something I would touch right now. It's wow, it's a $129 billion company. That makes a lot more sense.
I was like rivaling Tesla, huh?
Oh, well, as far as electric car manufacturers? Or are you talking about market cap?
No, I think they said that it's rivaling Tesla like as a EV manufacturer in China.
Yeah, yes, it is. No, it's a China-based company, so that makes sense.
So, I mean, some of these cars, these Chinese cars and their technology are insane. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen videos with their capabilities and their technology. They're pretty cheap too, but
What are some of the companies? Like, what are the you know the tickers or?
well, it's like Li Auto, like Li, Li,
Oh,
Yep.
Li Auto, I think NIO, right? Is it Chinese?
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I mean, these cars are so advanced and so awesome, but they're not being sold in the American market.
It's so weird.
I know. I don't know why not, but like they're really cheap. Like some of their capabilities are insane.
Like better than Tesla, you think?
I don't know about that, but they also have like self-driving. They have like a bunch of different stuff. But I'm telling you that if they were allowed in the United States, they would get a large portion of the market share, just because of how affordable they are, all these automobiles are, and how advanced they are technologically.
I think they can also, not only do they have supposedly a much greater range, but their charging capabilities of going from like 0 or 10% all the way up to like 70-80% is like 5 minutes. And this is on a range on a car that's got 400 or 500 mile range.
That's the benefit of no regulations. So you get awesome stuff like that, but you also might explode. So it's like, isn't that great?
That's right.
I guess you can go out with a bang.
Well, it is BYD. Build your dreams. That's what the company is. That's what BYD stands for.
Got it.
Wow, ANET is really not doing anything. So I just wanted to read this right here. It's got HSBC analysts expect BYD's earnings to stay strong due to overseas growth and better production or product mix. Retail sales abroad have doubled, boosting margins. Target price is HKS 151. I don't know what that equates to in US dollars.
Oh, Hong Kong. It's Hong Kong dollars, 7.8. Whatever that is divided by 7.8.
Okay. Let's see. So $20, $19.35. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I was just looking at this Lee L8 model. It looks like their SUV, their luxury XUV that sits about six to up to 8, really tight, but about 6 folks. Their range on this car, this SUV electric range, 879 miles.
That's incredible.
Right, 1,400.
Is it just more batteries that they're putting in, or is it just better technology?
Shoot, I don't know.
Wow.
I have heard these new solid state batteries are now coming out very slowly, obviously, because the technology is very new. But they can, on a single charge, they can do like 1,000 miles. Yeah, pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Now it could be some sort of hybrid. It says here. It's the extended range, electric, oil, or electric. Looks like combined range 15 kilometers. Full electric range 280 kilometers, so that's much lower. So yeah, it's some sort of combined range 15. That's incredible. I've got a hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid, but its range is like 588 miles per tank. And this one over 800, close to 900. That's pretty nice.
that's quite incredible. I'd never have range anxiety if that were the case.
No, you could live in the car for days and weeks and not have to worry about charging it or anything. Wow. Yeah, no doubt. One of my business partners actually just went to New Zealand a couple months ago, and he was telling me about that too. He's like, man, it just seems like everything's so advanced. Of course, they're obviously much closer to China, and they've got a lot of products from China over there, including the cars. That was one of the things he was mentioning. He's like, man, the cars are just incredible. So Lawton speaks the truth. We know he is AI, right, Lawton?
Actually, I'm a sleeper cell agent for China.
What was that?
What? Nothing.
Well, folks, I'm going to step off, get ready for trading the close. Ben and the folks are going to Ben and Lawton are going to take you through the rest of the trades and the closes. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Talk to you guys later.
Drew.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, bud.
Thank you.
All right.
Pull up a chart here. What's
I
that?
was gonna say, all right, look at that price movement in ANET. Whew. It's really coming in now. I'm kidding, you guys. It's nothing.
Are you in the money?
No,
Oh,
but you are. Good job. I'm $118 out of the money.
Check out this this chart on BM&R. So this chart, this is the stock. I heard Tom Lee talking about this, I think last week on CNBC, and stock rallied from like $4 up to 160, and then crashed, and now filling the gap here, and up about 14% today, breaking out of this wedge. You see that huge break here. So I think this probably gets another rally. But yeah, very small company. Actually, not as small as I thought, 4 billion. But still, I think it's a crypto company, doesn't have any revenue. At least I don't think so. So anyway, something to keep an eye on. This might rally up here, maybe a gap fill, short a gap fill intraday.
Did you go long?
No, but I'm
Oh.
sitting here looking at this saying, darn, this is a great time to go long here.
Yeah.
oh darn, it is. So do it. Darn.
Well, I missed the opportunity. It's already up 14%.
Do you play it on a retrace?
You could.
No.
Kind of like
Do you play it on a
Yes.
retrace? Sure, why not?
yeah, maybe.
Okay. You could actually get in at a better price if it does fall and retraces.
Totally.
Right. What is your upside target for SOXS again? 8 cents. So you're looking at 8.10. All right. Somebody was just asking.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Jeff saying I think they bought 3 billion worth of Ethereum. Wow, on BMNR. Okay. Ron's asking, what do you think of CNC down 75% from the high into previous pivots and almost 886 fib retracement? Currently traded at $6.13 PE. 13.
Yeah, I've been
Wow.
keeping an eye on this. There's a lot of support coming up here. So I was talking about this, I think, last week. I just got lucky here in the pre-market. Yeah, I was pointing this out. Company got crushed here, and this was a major level on the daily chart. It's kind of a mess here in my chart, but let's just hide this. I don't want to. How do we hide it? Like this. Yeah. So this was a level here. This was a major level on the daily chart, and then obviously this was the low here on the intraday. And so what happened was the stock got crushed, and then bear trapped the pre-market low, and then bear trapped the like weekly trend line. The stock rallied, and I was able to get in long here and just take it off somewhere around here. But now I'm glad I took it off because it's much lower than where I sold it. But I think this probably goes lower. If you look at the major support right here, right, $24. It's kind of what I'm waiting for. Then you have all of these other areas like 2050. This is a great area right here, $20. So I'll start at 24, then dollar cost average down through here. Yeah, getting interesting. And then UNH is kind of a similar chart, very similar chart, where you have all this support, here. I'm actually down on this right now, and I'm just waiting to add somewhere in this area.
Well, the nice thing is that's a dividend paying stock. So if you have to hold it for, a couple of years or something, it's not a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, when the markets are up here like this, I really like to be in dividend stocks. When they're up here like this, when they're down here like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, I like to be in growth stocks, right? So they're going to outpace dividend stocks by multiples.
Wow, UPST just continues to fade. This thing is getting hammered on earnings. Below $68. My first level is 65.83. Man, I was going to trade this yesterday in the earnings trader, but just didn't get low enough. Actually, it popped quite a bit on the back of earnings initially. We almost got to a short level, but look at that crater. Had a nice bounce intraday, like you can see, or a pre-market, and then continues sell off today, as you can see in Dr. B's charts.
Yeah. Form this bear flag here. Then broke down here and got hammered here at the open. Hasn't bounced one bit.
No. No, it hasn't. And that's you got to stay away from stocks like this, right? It's tempting to trade these. I mean, if you catch the lows, you can, take 2%. Oh,
I got you. Oh,
go ahead.
I had
All
you
right.
up there. Yep.
So 86.09. Again, you could have taken 2%, 2.3%, but that's like catching the lows of the charts. When you have a weaker stock like this, the fear really starts to increase. We saw this with ON Semiconductor as well. So once the selling pressure like really hits, it's a strong emotion, and so that's what continues to create the selling pressure in the stock. So you do have a high pivot at 65.83. So if it continues to head down there, possibly tomorrow, that would be a good opportunity. And then 63.60 could be another opportunity as well, possible add level on this thing. The crazy thing is 100, it was up 102% year over year with net income of 5.6 million. Oh, that's not, I mean, it's a $6 billion company. That's not a lot of revenue.
Guys, I'm going to step away.
All right. I don't know what happened. He just said he's gonna step away.
For a minute, I think is
Okay.
what he got cut off. Wow, what a great bounce on SMCI. I really anticipated this thing going down to $42.84, but they just got a nice bounce. Same with Snapchat. Snapchat actually broke below this upswing trend line. It's a nice fall, and then it has the potential to come back up and retest the scene of the crime at $8.16. If you start recapturing this level, then you're going to have a nice move to the upside. From the highs to the lows, down 22%, still down 17%, which is a pretty substantial fall on Snapchat. But I was reading, and this can't be right. It was like 9,000% or 900% miss on earnings. So apparently, it's not the best the best model, business model. I don't know. They're not doing something right.
S&P or Q starting to sell a little bit on the 1 minute. Very little, barely. Little baby sells. It's a little bit. Little guy.
Just a little guy. Yeah, it looks like ANET, just not a lot of movement today.
Dr. B's.
All right. What
did the Fox say?
No, not going there. Okay, so APP has earnings today. What do you think of it? What are your levels, Lawton?
Are we trading it for an earnings trader?
Yeah, but I mean, might as well give some levels.
Giving a freebie?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Let me tell you my levels. APP's a mover, man. Oh, this thing is a mover.
Dude, this thing was up at $520. And look at that drop. Dropped 60%, man.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Let me guess your first level.
Hold on. All right.
428.99 is your first potential shorting level, but that's an aggressive level. Your next level is at 450. 449.
What about my long levels?
Was that right?
No, yeah, I'll tell you. But tell me my long levels.
All right. Well, your first level is this gap fill at 335. Let me see how big of a move that is. That's an aggressive level. No, that's a great level, 335. If it breaks there, you're coming down probably these pivot lows at 324. Corresponds with this pivot point right here, and then additional support right here at 328. So 335, 328, and 324 are some good key support levels. And then 303 is a gap fill.
Okay, well, my first shortable level is an aggressive level at this pivot high, just around 429. That's extremely aggressive. My second level with this pivot high around 456. I know there's a 450 level. I don't like it on 456. This would be the first realistic shortable level for me that I would trade in earnings, 17% higher, just about how much APP can move, right? Last earnings, it moved 13%. The earnings prior to that, it moved up 31%, and the earnings before that, it moved up 37%. So this is something that absolutely can move. As far as my long levels, found 15% lower, 18% lower, and then gap fill on 303, 22% lower. Most of these were correct. What's up, Dr. B?
Hey, how you guys doing? What are you seeing?
We're seeing APP's earnings report possibilities. So where we would potentially trade them. We've got this beautiful upsloping trend line. Is this so? Dr. B was mentioning a nice bear flag that was forming on, what was that, CNC? I can't remember what stock it was, but it looks similar to what's going on with APP. So this could be a lot of price consolidation before a breakdown. Now, as long as we have this upsloping trend line, and this goes back to the April lows, so this could be creating an uptrend as well. So earnings will be interesting. That's basically what I'm saying. Earnings could be really interesting. It could get a nice bounce and then a great pullback, or vice versa.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting chart here. Like this, I don't know. It's like not quite. I guess technically it's an inverse head and shoulders, isn't it, Ben? Is that correct? So weird. Very weird chart, isn't it?
Looks like a smiley face. It's winking at me.
Yeah.
No, that's oh my gosh. That would be a crazy inverse head and shoulders pattern. Like, where would you even draw the line? So I guess
I don't know.
this would be the neckline. It's breaking out of, but then the shoulder doesn't come up here. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's just, for the fun of it, let's see where
Crazy.
APP, if this were an inverse.
What was that stock that had the Adam and Eve pattern on it the other day, Lawton?
I have
Do you
no
remember?
idea. No, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of the stock. Maybe someone in the chat, if you remember that.
Yeah, see, I just want to follow up on that.
Yeah, GEV just keeps pushing higher. It's all right. And we're doing okay with it. Still not doing a ton one way or another.
It's still not at its all-time highs. So
Still got that topping tail. So
yep,
overall, we're okay. We're okay. Michael Brown, HIMS. What's happening with HIMS, buddy? Is it dropping?
This thing's getting flushed today. I mean, look at this here.
$50 my level. Go ahead.
What's that?
I said $50.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My level.
Look at this chart here, just getting crushed, just breaking this trend line here at the open. A really pre-market. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Guys, I'm just gonna take Soxs off here at 8:06. We have earnings traded relatively soon. I don't want to have to stay on and manage both, so I just cut it here, $8.06. We made 4 cents on it, like half of what I wanted. I'm not gonna complain, but I'm out right here at 8:06. I just don't want to mess with it anymore. Try to give it a try. Try to get you guys a trade. Still got $500, right? So it's better than nothing. But at least we got a little tiny little gain on that. But I'm not interested in fighting it any longer. All right.
But this ANET chart, our trade has been
Oh, your trade has been a
absolutely
lot of fun. Yeah.
amazing.
Truly a lot of fun. Yeah, your trade has been.
Absolutely.
I know.
We've sat
So
at our
much
break
fun,
even.
right?
Yeah. For so long, man.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go on unmute. I'm reviewing my course, but I'll be around if I'm needed.
Yep. All right. Thanks. So Jack's saying APP on an 8-bar time count, short time. Yeah, man. If that's what something that you feel convicted, absolutely. I don't know if you guys know anything about earnings, but even when a stock misses on earnings, it can really just shoot higher. Or if it beats earnings, it can flush out. There is no advantage at all shorting into earnings or going long into earnings. Charles is saying, haven't had to maneuver much with this ANET so far, LOL. Yeah. Oh, Shemuel, I don't know if I said that right. Hopefully I did, is saying it was natural gas, Dr. B.
Ah, that's right. Natural gas. Let me take a look at this. So if we look at, oops, let me see. There we go. So this is on the, I think this is the intraday chart. Ah, there you go. Go to the 5-minute, kind of a better. Let's go back to the 1 minute. So here you go. Here's an inverse head. This is the Adam and Eve pattern, right? Came back. We consolidated right along this neckline. Tried to break out. It broke out, right? And then it came back down. Basically retraced. So breakout, retrace with a pierce, and then look at that move. Right to the measured move and higher. Pretty cool. Man, this thing is volatile. Get it, Ben?
The natural gas, got it? Volatile.
Take a look at Bull. Look at that chart recently. Bull kind of had an inverse head and shoulders here. Broke out, retraced. Yeah, this might be done for the season. What do you think about Bitcoin, Ben?
It's got a nice upsloping trend line that needs to break in order for us to have another leg lower. Right now, it's still uptrending, so it's still bullish.
I mean, this guy right here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
We got so close to our break even on ANET. Just not doing anything. Let me go ahead and share my charts. Yeah, see, that's a beautiful upsloping trend line. Bitcoin tagged the previous all-time high at 111,000. Got a nice bounce. That's moving higher. So now let's take a look at ANET. We have this upsloping trend line. This connects this pivot at 136. This pivot right here at 138.20. And now we're trying to break it. Let's see, try to get below. But same with Bitcoin, right? This is it's currently in an uptrend. Just trying to break. Once we do, I think we can move back down to 138.20. I was really anticipating, based on the fact that yeah, Charles, I agree. I was really anticipating a bigger rollover. I mean, it's up 17.56% on the day. It looks like it's been super volatile, but I mean, you get these 1.25% pullbacks. That's about it. You get $1.30 pullback. One of the reasons actually that I took half off the table was due to that fact. Now, when I got in, you had this nice down move, nice reversal candle. And when I get in, it did give us about $1,000 profit, but again, I was just wanting a little bit further of a downside move. ANET chose to not give us that. Now we're just sitting in the trade. Originally, my downside target was about $2 to $3 on it, and then that changed. I still have an ad level at 140.05, and then if we do decide to flush out, I'm going to take 50 cents. You know, that'll be a couple $100 on this trade, and we'll just move on. We'll wait for another trade set up tomorrow. And what's going to happen is once I exit the trade, the sellers are going to get back in. I mean, sellers are going to come out of the woodworks and flush it even lower. And we're going to say, see you later. Scott's asking, what do I think about coin? Let's go over the Coinbase chart. It's had a nice bounce today. This thing had pretty bad earnings. It hit the 50% Fibonacci retracement. Precisely, look at that. 293.61 is the Fib retracement. And then you also had a lot of support, this low pivot here, and then price consolidation. So as long as you can stay above the 50% Fib retracement and recapture this upsloping trend line. So you've got this pivot high, pivot low, 142, secondary pivot, connect these trend lines at 236. We can recapture this. Coinbase is going to head higher, but that's a big if it happens.
I'm just going to pop up Coinbase and show you guys something that's quite interesting. So this is we talked about the double bear trap with CNC. This is a double bull trap. So you have the all-time high here. Okay, we pierce that, and then we pierce this upsloping trend line. See that right there? So two bull traps on this trend line and this trend line, and look at the fall. I mean, just brutal fall of about 30%. So pretty cool.
Yeah. It actually looked oversold on the short term based on how many days in a row it was down, but just going into earnings, even though it was a good down move, 17% off the highs, the earnings were just so bad that. Oh, welcome back.
All right, guys. I'm going to step off a little early today, but no, I agree, Ben. What a crazy fall there. One day, look at this, gap down and moves like 17% in one day. So
yeah, it's a big move.
Crazy.
Big fall.
Crazy. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to step off a little early here, and I will see you soon.
See you
Okay.
later.
Take care.
Hey, thanks, Dr. B. Appreciate you.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Javier is saying, can you see Riot chart? Yeah, what do you want to see in the Riot chart? Just curious. I like to be interactive with the charts.
What time frame? Long or short? Swing trade? Day trade? Short term? Options trade?
Well, first off, you've got this down sloping trend line. Start with this pivot high at $20.67. Connects this pivot 1834, third pivot. So you got to recapture this down sloping trend line, and then you've got a nice move higher. It did hit or kiss this gap fill, so it didn't officially hit it, so it could retrace back down. Right now we're looking at a 9% bounce today. So that would be a little bit tougher for me to say, yeah, this is a great opportunity for you to go long, just based on the fact that it's already gotten this move, unless, again, you're a long-term trend line, you're a long-term trader. This could be an opportunity, even at this move, for a continued bounce all the way up to this gap fill at 1341. If you start recapturing, again, this down sloping trend line, then you can actually push quite a bit higher than this. And then just kind of looking at the charts kind of catches my eye as this upsloping trend line. Look at that. It did flush this, what Dr. B likes to call a bear trap, and now it's moved higher. So these are your two pivots, right? You are these two trend lines. You've got this upsloping trend line that you need to stay above for it to maintain its bullishness. And you've got this downsloping trend line that's going to act as resistance. So stays above this and recaptures this. Riot blockchain, Riot platforms can go higher. I don't know if it's going to go return to the all-time highs or even back up to $20. However, your next level of resistance is going to be this top right here, which is a topping tail. So that's what I see. What do you got, Lawton? You seeing anything different? Same?
It's like my...
Am I in your brain?
You're very similar because we play the same things. We have trend lines, we have gaps, and we use pivots. The one thing that you use more of than me is fibs, and the one thing I use more of than you is brain cells. So, all right.
Well, there you go. And you are ahead of me in trades today. So
In trades given, yeah,
and profits.
Oh, I mean, that's true. I mean, I'll take it. I mean,
Yeah, you will.
the stock trade is small. It's only $500, but we'll take it. All right. Sorry, guys. My brain is like blended at the end of the day. But if there's anything you guys want us to look at that you can think of, we'd be happy to look over it. But just please give us context, because if you just send me a ticker, I might explode. If you send a ticker, if you type a ticker and press enter, or three tickers and press enter without any context, I literally might combust into flames. Let me look at the earnings today. APP dash DoorDash. Does DoorDash move on earnings? It does.
It can.
Move, well, if not too much.
Richard is saying, when is NVO going to drop another 10%?
Let me, hold on. I got you. Hold on. Watch.
Consult the crystal ball. We have no idea, Richard.
Hold on.
Oh,
this thing is so heavy. This probably, how heavy is this?
25 pounds.
25 pounds. I'm trying to see if I can feel anything in this crystal ball. I only see my hands. How about here? Come here, Everett. Hold this. Tell me, when is NVO going to drop 10%? This is our
August 21st.
August 21st. You heard it here first. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. I just like shoot him away. It's August 21st. There it is. You have it, guys.
I want to know what's his experience with reading crystal balls, because I don't know if I truly believe that.
What's your experience reading crystal balls or with balls in general? A lot? All right, yeah, he has a lot of experience. You're good. August 21st.
My game plan for ANET, you guys, I'm looking for about a 50-cent downside move. This thing, it has to break this upsloping trend line. It has to, because if it doesn't, then it won't. But it has to. I mean, I'm willing it into existence, and then once it breaks through our break even, it's going to flush out and get us back down to this low level at 138.19. And I'm gonna hold it until it does. This is ridiculous. Oh man, it's going the wrong direction. Womp womp. Now we're like $300 out of the money. Short covers? No, I don't know. I mean,
ANET is like
ANET.
Hold on. Yeah. For a stock up 18% today, not really a mover. It went up there, and then it just.
We had some initial volatility,
Like
which is what I was playing, and then it just died out.
I'm calling this the Angry Bird pattern. You ever play Angry Bird? You gotta tap it to make the bird go up, and then once you release it, it falls down. So it just slows up, down, up, down, up, down. Like Angry Bird.
Yeah, but it's just bouncing.
Yep. Charles says, I used to do tarot card readings long ago. But I had too many readings which were way too accurate when I didn't know the people, so I decided, yeah, we'll stop that for now. Yeah, I don't really mess with that. Like, it's fine. Like, I have friends who have done those. I just kind of, I'm too superstitious. My grandma told me not to mess with that stuff. Flappy Bird, not Angry Bird. My brain is exploded. Yeah, Flappy Bird, Charles. They did pull that game from the markets.
Why?
Because the creator said it was just too much. I don't know, and he just removed it. Huge volume spike in the markets. I did see that volume spike. Paul says, what do you think about Baba hitting down sloping trend line on the daily? Baba. If I showed you my Baba chart, you'd explode maybe. But it's okay. So Baba, I had this down sloping trend line. It broke out of, retraced. This is the entry point, and it's pushing up higher. So I'm bullish on Baba, as you can see. Trust says it was causing mental problems. I think for the people playing it, rather wild. Yeah. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, I don't mess with that too much. Sivram says, hi, do you expect Dash to move higher after the results? Chart looks like an upward move possible. Looks strong, but it is at all-time highs.
Not quite.
It is at all-time highs.
DoorDash? No.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, slightly down. But yesterday it was at all-time highs. It's like 0.25 cents away.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
I was looking at the 1 minute and I thought you were crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, it's around its all-time highs. So no, I don't think it's going to go higher. However, However, there is no like way for us to know if it's 100% going to go up or down off of earnings. Really, that's going to depend on earnings. When it's higher in the charts, that means the earnings have to be better in order for a move higher to happen. So it's less likely that a move higher is going to happen, but can still absolutely happen. If I had to bet Ben's left hand on this and wager that and try and figure out if this is going to go higher or lower, I would bet his hand that it would go lower. But I'm not interested in shorting into earnings because I don't like to trade like that. What do you
No.
think, Ben? Would you agree?
It's got a nice wedge pattern. Here is the chart. Boom, boom. Nice wedge pattern. So here's the thing, right? It just recaptured all-time highs from 2021. Could give, or what Dr. B likes to say, as a bull trap. So it pierced it, pulled back, but the relative strength index would indicate that it's doesn't have a lot of price action movement, not a lot of relative strength action movement. So it favors a move to the upside. Still in an uptrend until this upside.
Favors a move to the upside?
It does favor a move to the upside. Until this trend, see, that's the thing.
Trend line is broken. Yeah.
Until the trend line is broken, right? And so you can't jump into a trade saying, oh, well, it favors a move higher. Well, I mean, yeah, it absolutely favors a move to the upside. But so what if favors a move to the upside? You going to play it to the upside at $260? No, because then you're going to try to have to navigate that and where are your support levels? You got support at 234.79 and then 215, which is the previous pivot high. You're going to have a lot of support in that area, but again, no advantage.
Yep. Chin saying, am I the only one that's disappointed Soxs couldn't even top 850 after SMCI dropped by so much? Yes, you are the only one, because SMCI is not in SOXX. It's not in there, so it doesn't affect the price. AMD, however, is in SOXX, and that is why Soxs is up today.
Yep.
So yes, you are the only one disappointed.
Although Lawton would have liked to see it up there,
doesn't
necessarily mean he's disappointed because of it.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed in general.
Well, the thing is, NVIDIA's in it.
Texas Instruments.
TXN.
Taiwan Semi.
TSM. TSM.
Not Tyson Foods, not those dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Oh, they're not in there? When did they get removed?
Nuggets? Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, we got less than a minute for everybody. And then I think we're going to call it. So my exit is going to be soon. But for those of you guys who are on the YouTube channel, we're going to have to say goodbye to you guys in less than a minute. And then I'll stay on for a little bit longer while I walk you through the remaining part of the trade. So if you guys are in the YouTube channel, cutting your loss here would be a slight loss on the trade. Hopefully you went along with my percentage of portfolio. I was already
even if you won heavy, you're not really lose that much.
Right.
To be honest, you're out 0.2%.
Yeah, I know. Hasn't really been doing anything. So either way. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications when we do this again, which will be next week, Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. We got that small trade on Soxs, but maybe next time we'll get a bigger one.
Yep. All right. You guys have a great day. Take care.